Hey guys, what's going on? I figured I'd do a follow up on a supercharger kit. Oh, and as well, in case you guys were wondering where I put my hood latches, there's a bolt that goes right here, the same as this one. I removed it and ended up using, I guess, this bolt. It tightens down this metal bracket as well. I figured that'd be the best place. All this other stuff's pretty flimsy. I don't want it holding on the hood, but that's where I installed them at, and they line up pretty well. Both sides is gonna be the same thing. Let's see, the supercharger kit itself has been running really well. I started getting a small belt squeal. I'm not too sure what that is. It might be one of these pulleys going out on me. But so far so good. I ended up moving the kit up a little bit, the intercooler. I had cut that bumper off. I was in a bit in a hurry. I was eager to put it on. But I did cut the lower part, which I shouldn't have. I should have just waited, but I guess that gives me an excuse to buy a new front bumper. I didn't like this one anyway. Right where the filter sits, it was in here. I had to cut a little bit off for it to fit in there. But as you can see, it's a good place for it to catch water, all that dirt. Everyone always has their sprinklers running and all that, so any puddle that you hit, it's gonna splash up in here. And it'll be the filter itself. It is catching a lot of dirt. But as you can see as well, it's getting a lot of little rocks and pebbles in here, which I don't want. So here's a good few big ones. I ended up removing most of them, but it is getting a lot of little rocks, more than dirt, I guess, since it sits next to the wheel well. But the intercooler, I did move it up as high as I could. If you're gonna install it, you're gonna want to make sure it clears these brackets, because that's where your bumper sits. It was about right here, so moved it up about 2 inches. But I'm gonna see if I could get it the intake pipe come over here, see if there's enough room and clearance, and I'll get started on that and I'll let you guys know. So I was able to use the original piping that came with the kit. This is a piece that goes actually into the supercharger head unit, and it comes down. What I ended up doing was flipping this pipe over, which is this end right here, and I ended up cutting it right here. And I threw well, I'm not using the piece that actually goes in here. I flipped the whole unit around, which, I mean, this is probably a better setup for the fact that it's away from over there. And the way I actually cut it, I like to put a zip tie, and I use a marker. I usually have a permanent marker, but this was a dry erase. I just left it in here to show you. I'll put the zip tie on there, and then I'll make a mark with the marker to get as straight of a line as possible. These other dots I have, it's for the clamp. I like to measure how long the clamp is and go a little bit more and mark them. That way, whenever I slide it into the little couplers, as soon as these disappear, I know there's enough piping inside these housing, these little couplers, to make sure this clamp's gonna hold. I marked this one as well. As you can see, as soon as it hits the line, I already know that this is gonna be enough to grip. That's what these little lines are for. But I usually use a marker, and I use the zip tie to cut that. But I guess a good thing about moving it up over here, not only did this one run across here, it was covering these bolts right here. So now that these bolts are open, you have enough room to run a crash bar. You can actually put a crash bar there. I'm gonna see if the bumper fits on there. I have this, which I actually had to cut a little bit, not too much, right here. So I want to keep it as, I guess, stock looking as possible. But that's gonna be the clearance right there. Just cut a little bit, not too much. Which actually I don't believe I had to cut it. If you actually have more piping, you can actually pull it out about 2 more inches. The way it comes in, maybe add 2 more inches of piping, and this, you could probably slide it out and it'll clear a whole lot more. I just had to cut just a little bit more to clear this curve so it wouldn't rub right there. But other than that, I mean, it'd be good if you could go. I mean, I just didn't want to buy extra piping. I already had this one laying around, but if you can actually, I would say about 1.5 inches to 2 inches, you can slide this a little bit out and give you more space. But regardless, I mean, nothing in the back got moved around, and you still got plenty of room. So that's still, let's see, I guess when I'm done I'll post a pic, but I mean, that's gonna land right inside the grill just like a regular cold air intake. Plus, like I said about the crash bar, you got room to add a crash bar. Alright guys, I got the front bumper back on and I was actually able to keep the filter in place, but the actual space is extremely limited. As you can see on this side, you're gonna have these grooves back here. These little grooves, I had to grind those down on this other side so I actually have the space to clear. As you can see where the filter's at, it is really tight fit right there, and then up here as well. I still need to clean it up, but yeah, I had to grind down a little bit for it to get in there, but that's gonna be its new place from now on, which I actually think is a whole lot better from it being down here by the ground. But there you have it, the supercharger itself, great. New spot for the intake, and I guess we'll take it out on the road. Alright guys, engine's nice and warm. The reason I haven't been posting too many videos is because I'm having a lot of traction issues. I'm running 285, the Michelin AS3, so they're not that good. I've been trying to get some summer tires, but this is what I'm talking about. Let me just show you. I do some quick pulls. This is gonna be a map 1, which is about 515, and of course on first gear it's gonna peel out no matter what. I had traction control on. Give me just a second. Alright, I'm gonna put it up in first gear and you'll see what I mean. Of course it's gonna peel out, but see what it does. This is 515 horsepower, so this is gonna be second gear. No matter how fast I'm going, if I get on it, it starts sliding around. Third gear, I could be doing about 40. As soon as I hit about 55, I lose traction. Right there, so that's the reason. The only good gears I have are gonna be 4th, 5th, and 6th, of course, but I'm working on getting a new setup, so should be posting videos here pretty soon.